is cached.
Welcome fellow gamers to another NX Gamer video, this time on the beta trial of Battlefield Hardline. A lot of you may have seen this shown at the E3 conference at E3 last week, or this week, and obviously one of the things that popped out of that was a quick fire, download it now demo, which they also do with Destiny as well, which I'll get a video up to you as soon as possible on that. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to hit with the Battlefield Hardline multiplayer demo is it's not 1080. Yeah, I don't know what they were telling people on the original stage. Adam Boyes said it on stage. The game probably will be 1080 when it finally ships, but this version right now at the beta is not 1080. It's 900, the same as the original Battlefield 4. And predominantly that's what it feels like when you're playing it. It feels like Battlefield 4 on the PS4. It doesn't really have any additional extra benefits on performance, doesn't really have any additional graphical qualities or additional features. It feels by and large like a DLC add-on, bolt-on pack, mod, whatever you want to call it, that's what it feels like. But let's go through the basics of the game styles, the gameplay first. This is not, there's no point in me breaking this down into an analytical point of view because it's a beta. It does feel very rushed, and it does feel like a step back from where Battlefield is right now. There's the same kind of bugs you get on Battlefield even now, with the level loading and the sound not coming in for a while. You get massively bad netcode, which you saw earlier on the beginning of the video when I shot the guy by the car. There just is loads and loads of weird funky features going on in the game. Now normally you'd cut it some slack and say, yeah, beta, we'll have to see what happens, but this is a DICE game, and we all know the trials and tribulations we all had with Battlefield 4, so I'm not entirely convinced that this is not indicative of the final game that we're going to play in the next few months. It has a few extra features that Battlefield doesn't have, so you can use your zip line to get you up on the edge of buildings, or to get you up to where the crane is, which is good if you've got a sniper class, so you can snipe people in the face. And then outside of that, you've got the vehicles, so you've got different like bikes, cars, trucks, and they feel sufficiently weighty and different to each other, but it all feels very similar to Battlefield. And if you've played that, you've played this. I can't stress that enough. There's basically two game types in this. There's Blood Money and there's Heist. What you can see I'm playing now is Blood Money, where you basically have two sets of cash in the vaults in the game. You run there and get the money, and then to add a little bit of extra diversity to that game type, you can, what you saw me there was stealing money out of the back of the other team's van and bringing it back to your own. And that kind of plays who's got the most money at the end of the game, who's got the most kills, same old, same old. And then you've got the heist option, which sounds more exciting than it actually is. It basically involves you catching a suitcase and then running around shooting everyone until bringing it back to the extraction point. There's one of two on the map. Everything about it is Battlefield. Certainly the online multiplayer side of it is Battlefield. There's no difference there at all. If you play this on the single player and there's some additional, really well thought out, well put together storyline with loads of additional content, and it's really well paced, then maybe it's worth a full price game. But at this point I wouldn't pay any more than £20 for this as a DLC, additional content. And maybe that's one of the things that EA are looking at with this beta, to get feedback on what people think of it. Would they buy it? Would they play it? But yeah, it's a strange beta because it goes against what they said on stage. It's not 1080. It's certainly not 60 frames per second consistently. There's points in the game where it lags like Billy-O, or where it's loading certain parts of the area. When you get into the Levolution side of the game and the crane crashes and bashes into the building, it can really chug. And it's probably not less than 30, but it feels it because it's going from, like, you know, around 60 to down to 30s, and it really, really chugs and judders, and that's pretty bad, beta or not. On top of that, there's the textures themselves, which are really, there's points that are really low res, and I can't really believe that this is because they've shipped it due to low quality game type, so they want to keep the beta performance running, because they look like the same textures you get on Battlefield 4, so nothing looks really different on the actual breakdown of the game. It's just with low level textures is quite evident in the game, and that's unfortunate because again, it stands out when you've played games like Watch Dogs, unfortunately, which does have very good textures in places, and Second Son, and certainly even, you know, games like Killzone, which are far and away a better quality game than this visually, and this is no different to the DICE engine from the original launch game of Battlefield. At this point it looks identical. Whether or not they're going to do some additional work to it, and this is a very early version of it, and there's going to add some additional content and additional upgrades later on, possibly. But as it stands at the moment, it's Battlefield. It has the same feel, the same flow, the same bugs, the same kind of attitude that Battlefield has. And right now, I would not rush to buy this game. Sorry EA, sorry DICE, sorry Visceral. I'm sure that the single player is going to be very fun and frolicky, and I'll see what that looks like when it comes out at the time. But as it stands at the moment, I can't recommend this. Not only because the performance is a bit shoddy on the PS4, it's not much better on the PC, to be fair, but it's Battlefield as you know it, and play it on the PC. If you've played it, you've played it, and I'm sure it'll be the same on Xbox One. They reckon that they're going to get them both up to 1080 60, but at this point, because the beta's not, I don't know what to believe. So we'll wait and see what comes out at the later date. But all in all, it's Battlefield in Miami, nicking cash with cops and robbers. That's pretty much it. It's a kind of a rip-off of Payday, so it has that feel about it with the added standard parts of Battlefield. So you've got your custom classes, your choice of options, you can customise your guns, you can customise your equipment, you can customise your vehicles. All that aspect is carried over from the original Battlefield into Hardline, and it's got that merged feel of, they based it on the Dark Knight bank job. Yeah, I can see where they're going with it, but it doesn't really have that exciting feeling. They're not really pushing the boundaries. There's nothing new in here. It is just Battlefield with a couple of extra game types and a couple of extra options. I would not pay the full price for this game as it stands at this point. That's as much as I can say. It's fun, but no more fun than what Battlefield is. And it's got the same kind of bugs and glitches that Battlefield has, and it doesn't even at this point deliver the 1080 60 they all bragged about on stage at E3. So I'm still not too sure what they were thinking or what anyone's thinking at this point while delivering a game that doesn't live up to that. If the beta's not there and they're going to do it later, then they should have just said nothing at all, or shipped the game and said that as it stands at the moment, it is 900 and it is going to have performance hits. It's a beta, we all understand that, we all know how that works, but yeah, it's Battlefield beta, and we know that beta for that lasted at least 6 or 8 months after launch. So fingers crossed this won't be as bad as that was, but we shall wait and see. As it stands, I shall be cautiously optimistic on this game, and I'll take a wait and see approach, and I recommend that you guys do too. But as always, I'd like to hear your feedback and your thoughts. Have you played the beta? What do you think? Are you going to jump on this game? Do you think it's a waste of money? If you like this video, please, as always, give me a subscribe. It helps a lot. Give me a like. If you don't, give me reasons what you don't like. I'll leave it playing out for a few more minutes of this beta so you can enjoy it. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Look out, Jack! I need support! Keep the fire going!
access to our vault.